What is up, mathletes? So what we have for you is a quick little tip video, right? A quick tip of how to use Desmos to get the most out of your math class, all right? Because again, this is a free program that could save you a lot of time and headaches in your math class. So let's dive in here and let's take a look at what Desmos has to offer. All right, so first things first, my browser here, let me go to desmos.com. And then for this video, let's just go to the graphing calculator. We'll start here. And there's so much it already has built in. But again, let's just, if I'm a beginner user, how can I use this to help me out? All right, so depending on your level, there's so many things you could do here. Let's say we're talking about algebra, right? And we're graphing some equations, and I want to graph y equals 2x minus 3. Right away, we see Desmos comes to our rescue and it graphs it for us, and we could look at certain things, right? We could zoom in. That's what's awesome about it. Either if using your mouse, or if you're using a touchpad or your phone or a tablet, right? What's nice about Desmos is you could really move the graph around to kind of zoom in to look at whatever you want to look at, right? You could look at points on our graph. So I could look at what's the x-intercept here. So I could kind of zoom in here, pick a point, and I could see, oh, it's 1.5 is our x-intercept. Or what's the y-intercept here? Oh, it's -3. So again, we could get some quick information from Desmos. You might be wondering, right, as you're learning, again, say algebra, you might want to look at the impacts of, well, what happens if I change that that 3 to a +2? What kind of impact does the +2 have on my line? And you could see, oh, so it looks like my y-intercept changes. And then you could start taking some educated guesses to learn what's the relationship between these equations and these lines. All right, so again, there's so much you could do. Let's say you're in a higher math class and you're looking at one of our popular quadratic functions, just x squared, and you're curious, or you're learning about translations and you want to know, well, what happens? And what's nice is I could hide these other lines, right? So I could click and to hide whatever I don't want to see at the moment, right? Some of you guys wish you had this function for your ex-boyfriends or girlfriends. All right, so what happens, let's say you wanted to do x squared, right? And then what happens if we said +4? What is that +4 gonna do? And then you could start to see the impacts of that +4. And then say you're talking about domain and ranges. Now I could see the domain here is all real numbers. I could talk about the range. We have a video, right, talking about domain and range in case you're interested. And so there's so much you could do and play around with Desmos. Very powerful tool. Let's say you want to take this a step further. And let me hide this one. And let's say we wanted to do parentheses, right? X minus 2, and then close our parentheses, squared, right? Then you could see, what did that -2 inside of the parentheses do? And you could start to see, oh, it shifted it 2 to the right. So again, very easy to use, but you have to invest some time. You have to play around with it to get comfortable with this program because it's very powerful. Let's go a step further. Let's get rid of these. And let's say you're looking at the absolute value of x, right? But you wanted to know, of course, what happens if I wanted to look at the absolute value of x, and let's say +3. All right. Oh, well, the graph shifted 3 units up. And then, of course, well, what if I blasted that absolute value by a 2? And look at the impact there. And again, there's so many things. It's really endless of what we could use Desmos for. So again, great tool. Check it out. And before we leave here, let's do one more. Let's look at rational expressions, rational functions, right? So let's look at, I don't know, x minus 2 for our numerator. And make sure when you're typing in fractions, right, your numerator, we'll play it safe and we'll put in parentheses. divided by. So divided by, and in our denominator, let's go with, I don't know, x cubed. And look at, for my exponent when it's not squared, look at this button down here that I'm using, a to the b power. All right, x cubed, and then let me hit this arrow because notice I'm still in the exponent to get out of the exponent, and then I don't know, minus 2. And so we got this funky graph going on. But again, you could use Desmos to zoom in to look at all the interesting things happening in your graph. And of course, we could take out the other pieces. And so again, very powerful tool, and we want you to check it out and let us know what you think. If there's any specific things you want to look at, comment down below, and don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, share this video with a friend or 10,000, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.